Hey, good evening, John again. Gonna play a little bit of that Immaculate Grid. Let's just get right into it. I don't want to rehash yesterday's game. Actually, yesterday's game was pretty good now that I'm looking at it, but I just didn't remember. Had a lot of old players in yesterday's game. I think this is the Rarity version. Had a lot of old players. I think it flip-flops back and forth for me between the Chrome version and the non-Chrome version, just because I finish on one version and then I start immediately the next day. Not immediately, but the next day I'll start from whatever I played most recently. So it's just gonna flip-flop back and forth. Oh well, let's play then. I'm gonna hit refresh, I'm gonna hit play, and we are gonna play ball. All right, let's go Johnny Mize. That might be too rare. All right, LaTroy Hawkins hits these teams. And Sheffield. No, let's use Sheffield over. Yeah, that's fine. We'll get it. Got to keep rolling. Bobby Bonilla. No, actually, let's go with Charles Johnson. And it's in what Luis Castillo works, right? And here we can go with Bonilla. Cool. And let's see, 300 average for a season. Stan Musial, Rod Carew, and Jackie Robinson. All right, I think I was right at a minute. I think I was trying to be too cute there. That was not a particularly hard one, but had a lot of low rarity. What was the overall rarity on this? 58. And that was because I went with some. These guys were pretty low. Sheffield was at 7. I was kind of thinking, oh, do I go Sheffield here? He could work in a few different places. Castillo's at 7% for Minnesota and the Twins. Luis Arraez probably would have been a more obvious one. Bonilla, I knew worked for the Cardinals because I had a baseball card for him. So I was trying to think of all the people in that Sheffield trade. I guess Piazza actually would have been probably the most obvious. Um, but there are definitely choices. Actually, I'm gonna use someone from that trade in the rarity round, I think. Yeah, there's some options. Let's see. So I was just under a minute, I think. I think I saw 59 as I was hitting done. So I'm gonna call it 59. Share this version. This is the Chrome version. This is the one I did timed yesterday. And go ahead and hit refresh. And let's see what we can do. Um, so Germany Schaefer hits both of these teams. He's been ever since I learned his name, he's been a trusted ally. Um, Willie Banks, who would also work just to his left, he'll work here. He hits the Twins and Marlins. He goes 0.3. I'm going to go with another person from that trade here, Jim Eisenreich. He was in the Sheffield Piazza trade. Charles Johnson was also in there. He goes 0.5. Wow. It's a little bit higher than I was kind of thinking. And over here, I'm thinking Todd Zeal, who was also in that trade. So I'm just going all the way around. Takes 2%. Okay. Um, we used him yesterday, but I know Fred Merkel hits both of these teams. It's all the original New York teams, except the Mets. That's not really an original team. He also hits the Cubs. Um, and then so I went with Johnny Mize. Enos Slaughter works. Um, some Roger Maris works. Tony Womack will work. Um, let's go Enos Slaughter. Let's see how popular that guy is. Takes 2%. Guy from the 50s. It's pretty impressive. In this picture, he's probably in his 30s, early 30s. People aged differently back then. Okay, let's see here. I remember I was going through and I was trying to get, names of people. Let's see. I think there's like a Mike Busby works here. Yeah, that's the guy. I think he'll work for 300. That's a really low rarity score. That's pretty low for a colored picture. Usually if you see that, you're like, that's gonna be a black and white picture. And I want to say it was a guy, I think Foreman. I think that's right, who played for the Senators. He ties Mike Busby, who played almost a century later. And then for my last trick here, 300 average in a season, very, very low rarity score. Terry Forster, I know, works for career. And that's the thing. These guys work for career, season, and that was the only team they ever played for. So I like looked them up. At one point I was trying to like remember as many of these names as I could. Um, trying to think if I have someone for you know what? I do have someone for the Dodgers, Mr. His name was Richard Cox. I won't say how I remembered that. There we go. Technically not for kids. So there was yeah, so rarity score of 5, pretty good. Actually this guy, check out his career. He like these guys played like, 8 games and had 3 hits or 8 plate appearances and had 3 hits. Um he played 2 basically full seasons, one of which he hit like 320 and then he just kind of disappeared. Um but yeah, that's yeah, played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. So I did really well in this category by leveraging just something I'd looked up. I got Germany Schaefer because I'd looked him up one time. Eisenreich is surprisingly high. Um, these two are, I guess I'm not as surprised by this one just because there aren't that many choices. Marlins, Cardinals, you got 53 choices, so hitting a 2%er is not bad. But yeah, Enos Slaughter was traded from the Milwaukee Braves to the Yankees, and then from the Yankees to Kansas City A's. Be curious to see how maybe Roger Maris does. I'm trying to think of any others. Johnny Mize was actually at 1%, so that would have been a better pick. Mize won 5 rings for the New York Yankees, so in the last 5 years of his career, which I think is fun. He had a bunch of great seasons with the New York Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals, and then he like came to the Yankees and played first base and won 5 rings, which is pretty cool. Pretty complete career. So okay, I think that will do it for today. Thanks a lot for playing, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Peace.